the date. Hello everybody, surprise visit to the channel tonight. Tonight's not going to be really about lots and lots of talking from me and Ceres. I've just picked some of the videos that I made on the channel and we're just going to play them. Chat in the chat room. This isn't about videos and playing them and just seeing the lies of NASA. So on that one, so chat room and everybody that's going to watch. But anyway, over to Ceres.
All right.
Yes, how ridiculous is that?
Yeah.
How ridiculous is that? A moth in space, flying around with no problems. Actually annoying the astronaut. Anyway, Ceres has the next one to play now.
Hi there again. I know I put this video out earlier on another video to show that something's very, very, very wrong here, as you can see by this footage here. Any one of you can go and do this. You only have to actually go and just pick a piece of footage up and you just look at it a few times and you can start seeing things that just don't add up to where they say they're supposed to be and what they're supposed to be in. But really, there are 2 points to all this. One is about taking your freedom away, and the other one is about subversion. Now, when you see things like this, it is fake. This is fake. That astronaut is not there. This is some CGI. This is some rendering. Why would they have to fake it to show you that they've been and done these things? Why would they fake it? It's lies. And how do you believe liars? There he is, working away. He's moving there. Pan away, whatever they're doing. And then when you come back, he's not moving. The other one is, one isn't. One is completely frozen. Now, us people watching this think this is real, think this is high technology, think this is the future, that this is happening, and these people are risking their lives. It's fake. So what they're doing is they're making a fake reality for you. You are living in a fake reality. The reality you think is there doesn't exist. You believe a reality that doesn't exist. So do you see how easy it is to mind control the people? If they've got you believing that this is real, then you'll believe that fake wars are real, the fake news is real. You'll believe all that stuff you're watching on the television. You will believe it as if it is real. All this, like, I've only looked at this just like in the last couple of weeks proper. And I mean, if I found all this, anybody could find all these mistakes. You've got to add up. There's too many mistakes. How can... It's got us believing a non-reality. And what that does is, it takes your freedom away. Because you don't even know what's real. You believe this, and this isn't reality. This is fake. This is making you believe something that's not real. So it is taking your freedom away. Luckily, some of us are now waking up and knowing that we are free in our bodies and in our minds, and maybe becoming a bit more spiritual through this. This is like the Emperor's Clothes story, the children's story. And the Emperor was naked, but tried to make everybody believe that he had beautiful clothes. And in fear, they all went, "Oh, Majesty, they're so beautiful." And he wasn't wearing anything. And it only changed when one person stood up and said, "He's naked." And then everybody woke up and decided differently. This is what this is about. This is wake up, please. This is a mask, and it is a lie. And what makes it worse is, the really sad thing is, that was supposed to be the biggest step that mankind had ever taken, and it never happened. That was not the biggest step of mankind. That is a lie. If you ever have listened to any of William Cooper's stuff, and what he explains about what NASA is telling us about what being on the moon would be like, it would be 1/6 of your body weight. Every time they moved, they would really be bouncing 6 times more than if they were on Earth. Okay, so there's no way when he did that, he'd be able to just do that. He would be bouncing up. So this whole thing is a lie. And this is a form of subversion, because it's controlling you and channeling you to a place that doesn't exist. And what it is through subversion, what they've done is they've managed to change everything. So we don't believe in our creator or gods or God, whichever way you want to look at it. You're now believing in false gods. You're now believing you've got to earn millions of pounds, and you've got to aspire to these egotistical, well, most of them are very egotistical people with all this money, and that's what you're pushed towards, money and egos. Yeah, a lot of people more obese. Then they've made sure that everybody feels bad about themselves, and they've broken families up, which is such a sad thing, is that everybody's just so angry and I can't say the word, antagonistic. And you know, the families keep breaking up one way or another. And even something like the subject of flat earth, that just makes it sound like you've killed somebody. But I suppose in reality what you're telling everybody is that the life they believed in is a lie, and they're too afraid, or it's too frightening to think. What do you mean? You're crazy. But we're not. But it's breaking up families. The whole point was to break up families, to make us feel that we didn't care about ourselves. We were absolutely worthless, just like the big sun and the worthless earth. And then, pushing these people into this closed box lid box with stuff that really wasn't theirs, channeled, lied to, used. And then they're still able to do what they want then, because now they've got you completely controlled, because we're slaves to debt. So subversion, again, is a kind of communism. So we're not in a free world. A free world is not like this. It would not take this much effort to lie to you. A free world tells you the truth. I've been on holiday in Turkey. They tell you more of the truth there than they do here. We are very censored here in the West. We think we're free. Out there, we're not. In your bodies, yes, but not out there. It is completely controlled. Anyway, the whole point, what I'm trying to do is that, to say to you, is that they've got you only looking at this past of history, of concentration camps, of soldiers, of wars, of bad, of fighting, of oppression, of poorness and all that. So that doesn't look very good. And in the future, it's just as frightening, because now there's horrible things like HARP and CERN and wars and terrorism, and that's what's thrust in your face. So it's fearful at the front and it's fearful at the back, and in the middle they've made sure that they've destroyed society. But I will tell you this one thing, people. It is not the government that makes your community. It really is the people. If you believe in church, it's not the buildings that make the people. The buildings that make the church. It is the people. It is the people. There's nothing you can do without the people. But the people have been channeled and are depressed now and fired with HARP and chemicals and chemtrails and lied to, and it's depressing, and you're probably going to die anyway, and nothing is spiritual. And a lot of people who are waking up right now, it includes so many aspects of life. It could have started off with the words flat earth, but it is absolutely the deepest thing that you will ever look into. It's not just about whether there's a flat horizon and the sun goes straight across in dimensions. It really is the lies that we've been put in to cover up the fact that we were never on a ball in the first place. But all these pains, the subversion, the breaking up of families, the arguing, the egos, it's all to keep you from being here and now. And I don't mean to put anybody in one thing or the other, but that's what flat earth is about. We are here and it is now. Flat earth. And when I say flat earth, I mean Mother Earth. We are living in this most amazing place that you could ever imagine. It would be lovely if we could love the place that we live in and appreciate it for what it is. It's the most futuristic thing that you could ever imagine. If everybody could take all of that vision of what they think the moon and going to the moon and spaceships are all about, and that realize when they're showing you like through Stargate and all these dimensions and things, that they've made you believe that it's all up there, but it isn't. It's all happening here. If we really cared about where we lived and understood that in curvature it's 8 inches a mile and then it gets squared, that if that was really happening, you wouldn't see miles ahead like that. If you work it out, it's so easy. Go and look up how many feet, whatever it is you want to do it under, inches, meters, how much it will have dropped. It means you wouldn't be able to see what you see. And the only reason you can't see it is you're a long way out. But if you can zoom in like this person's doing, then things are there that shouldn't be there. That shouldn't be there like that. It should be well under curve. Your naked eye might not be able to see it because you can only see for so far. But magnified in through a camera, it's there. And it shouldn't be there. It should be over the curve. Anyway, Mother Earth. And what a lot of people may not understand is that this flat earth, whatever you want to call it, flat Mother Earth, flat earth realm, it is a realm. So flat earth covers all the lies now. It's covering the pyramids, it's covering the history, it's covering the language, it's covering what makes us work, it's covering, most people don't even understand the whole what everything is. Everybody just takes everything for granted. They don't even realize they're multi-dimensional in their own bodies. Their own bodies are multi-dimensional, and outside their bodies is multi-dimensional. Some of this stuff might go across people's heads and they may not be that interested in it. I understand that, but to be lied to protect stuff is just, it's I can't find another word, because to completely lie to its people is treason. There's just no way these things could happen if we were on a ball. Everything that would be about the sun would be different. Because don't forget, we would be moving. The only thing that moves in your sky is the sun. We're not moving, we're stationary. And for others who don't understand this, what it does for a certain section of us, but it would be great if it could be for everybody, is that we feel at peace in our hearts. Peace in our hearts. It's a very spiritual thing. Anyway, for the rest of the world, and for everybody, and for every flat earther, and for everyone that's not, I send out a big hug to the world. There you go, there is the chart showing you the curvature drops. You can't have it one way without having the other way. I had someone saying to me, yes, but you can't see it from 36,000 feet. Well, when can you see it if there's maths to say you can? You can't see it because there isn't any. Anyway, back to the hug. I'd like to end on a hug and hope that maybe it just makes some people who don't even understand about the lies, what this is all about. Thank you for watching.
All right.
Hey, the second one, and hello FPV. Let's play series. I'm going to mute myself.
To the moon one. Look at the moon. Look what happens to the moon.
Hello, Karen. Hello, Ceres.
Turns on its side. What the hell is that? Look at the moon. Look what happens to the moon. Turns on its side. What the hell is that? I'm going to play it one more time for those that didn't see that. There's the moon. Turns on its side and goes off. So they know it's not a planet. They know it's not a planet. It's a disk. They just showed you the moon as a disk. You know something? Just when you feel that, like, I think I've shown NASA's mistakes that much. How come this astronaut's female's hair isn't moving, and yet this one's hair is sticking up? Her hair looks like she's on Earth, and these ones look like they've come from a horror movie. How come this astronaut's hair isn't sticking up, and this one's looks like this? They forgot with this one, that day. Her hair should be sticking up, just like that one. Yeah, and I've often thought about this. If their hair was going to stick up, surely things like this, which are much lighter, would want to stick up. If the necklace is bouncing around like that, then surely things like the collars on their shirts would. They just would. If their hair can, these would be wanting to sort of float up a bit, wouldn't they? But I mean, how come this astronaut's hair looks like this, and this astronaut's hair looks like that? I'd really like to say thank you very much to Bling Bling, because obviously this is her video, which I've taken some bits of. But we're just going to actually zoom into this to show you what she's trying to show you. So as said, you know, these sweets, well, you know that they've got virtual holograms, don't you? Her hair's not moving. And then what this person notices is she's not really looking at the sweeties. She's not looking at them. She just roughly knows where they are. And what it is she's going to show you in a minute that it looks like it goes behind her hand. Here we come. She's going to slow it down. And as you can see, the astronaut will not be looking at the sweets when she comes back. She's looking where, like on her virtual hologram. And then watch, that sweetie wasn't in her hand. It's all just hologram lies. Why isn't her hair sticking up? Watch her hand. She's not going to be looking at the sweeties, and the blue sweet goes through her hand. Here it comes, here it comes. There you go. That is not in her hand. It's really sad, isn't it? It's really, really sad that it's all blue screens. I mean, everybody, would you want to be in this? Would you want to be flying around with something that looks like it's been put together with sticky tape? This looks like a storeroom. Look at all these wires out. Like, oh my goodness, just look at it. Would you want to be in the most dangerous place in the earth with all this out? Oh my goodness. Do you know what? It wasn't even there because it's on a blue screen. Even better, look, the stars are coming out from the earth. I love Bling Bling. She's done really good on this one. Like, I've found many mistakes myself, but look at this. The stars are coming out from the earth. Can you see that? Look. Do you see that, guys? I thought the stars were supposed to be light years away. Anyway, none of us believe that they're light years away, but like, the stars are coming up from the Earth off the ISS. I don't know how people think that that's up in space. I just wanted to show you from a high altitude plane and then what they're showing you. And yeah, look, there's the curve of the Earth. There's your curve. There it is. But the distances aren't really much further apart. You really look at what you're looking at. Look, high altitude plane with a sort of curve. Looking a bit like that. There's no way that that is like it is. I think the whole thing is taken at about 40 odd, 50 odd or 60 odd thousand feet, and the rest is CGI'd to fit the ball. Because look, oh look, still there's your little curve. Looking through the top of the plane on a curved piece of whatever it is, glass or plastic or whatever it is. There's your ball. Oh look, it's flat. Oh look, the camera outside. Oh look, the camera outside says it's flat. The camera outside, that is flat. Inside, look, we've still got a slight curve there like a ball. There's the ball. Look at what you're looking at. Look at the clouds. Still got a bit of a curve. Oh, we're outside again. Oh, look. It's flat. Oh no, inside, curve. I'm not looking at the top now. Oh, look, outside. Flat. Oh, look, he's now looking behind, not in the curve. Oh, he's back in the curve of the plane. Window. Oh, but now he's not looking, it was flat. Oh no, it's a ball again. Oh, look. It was a ball, but it's not a ball. Outside the camera show, it's flat. And this is how they play games with you and make the globe. There is no globe. It's flat. It's definitely a flat earth realm. Flat. That is a misconception. Those are the kind of things they show you. They show you things like that. See, the camera's moving. Oh, look. We've got a ball now. Now we're looking very NASA-like. That looks very like NASA now. Look, it's NASA. Do you see what they do? You know it's flat. It's just the way the perception, maybe because the plane is moving, turning, but it's flat. Supposed to be going 17,000 miles an hour. Okay? There it is on the right-hand side, moving. So there you go. That's supposed to be going 17,000 miles an hour. I'll just replay it for you because it's a little bit short. These men are outside in something going 17,000 miles an hour. It's impossible. This is an absolute lie. These things going that fast, I don't think that you would see it like that, would you? Wait for it to come again. 17,000 miles an hour. Did you see that? What is that? Play it again for you to see. What is that? I just wondered what that was. 17,000 miles an hour. Look. Look what's on the outside. All this is on the outside. Going 17,000 miles an hour. Yet nothing is moving. I mean, how does all that survive at 17,000 miles an hour? This is a joke. Absolute joke. I'm sorry. 17,000 miles an hour. And yet everything on him is floating. So how does the space station continue at 17,000 miles an hour? And this guy,
the crew continues to run about an hour ahead of us.
Everything is floating on him. All of this is on the outside. Traveling 17,000 miles an hour. It's just rubbish. This is all rubbish. I mean, if everything free floats like this, how come the space station isn't sort of bending and buckling a bit if all these things are floating around like that? How can you float around and be doing, please people, what don't you see? This is all a joke. With shadow going across, I don't believe it. Look, and here, you'll have one there and one there. Look at the distance between. I just don't believe, do you just believe that? If they were really going this fast, they'd be able to go around the globe, God knows, more than 17 times a day. That's like a quarter or half of the globe they're going round. They'd be able to go round it in seconds. I just wish people would wake up. How can they see the stars through this? The northern lights. It's just ridiculous. Look! How anybody thinks that that's 300 miles up? Shadows going across there and there. Never seen anything like it. Those two shadows here. It's just ridiculous. There it is there. It's there. It just wouldn't happen. They would not be able to pick that up. Look. Lies. Looks so fake. Oh, another night light. Look, people. You see this? This is coming out of the earth. You see that? They're coming out of the earth. Look! What don't you see? Coming out of the earth. The stars are coming out of the earth. Oh my God, just look. Coming out of the earth. Can everybody see that? If you can see the clouds like that, this is high altitude balloon height. Well, if that's the shape of the globe, then we are pretty damn small. It means I can come and visit anybody for a cup of tea tomorrow. Who's having me round for coffee or a cup of tea and a biscuit? Sorry, but these stars are coming up from the earth. Can't really see any of the clouds moving either. Surely there'd be some movement. If there's movement from this thing going, there'd be movement. Are we going to get the moon again? The black disk moon. Oh, just look at that. How do you believe that? When do you ever witness anything like that happening? Look, people, the stars are coming onto the earth. The stars are coming onto the earth. The stars are coming onto the earth. Look. The stars are going into the earth. The stars are going into the earth. Into the earth. Look, people, what don't you see? There you go. Stars are coming into the earth. Stars are coming into the earth.
Oh, we're still ready.
Yes, the fakery. The fakery. Next one, Ceres.
So I guess it's just a one dish at a time sort of thing, huh?
The good part is, like a lot of meals on space station, it tasted fine. It's just you had to eat things individually. The taste is good. You sort of use your mouth as a bowl and just mix stuff up and eat it. It's not the same, but it's all right. Hey, tell you what, so you can see, what we're facing here in weightlessness. We'll take our asparagus and we'll take it and go rehydrate it, and then you can see what it's like to eat asparagus.
Yeah, Chris Hadfield, why don't you do that? Why don't you fly on up there and show us what it's like to eat in space? Because we're all so anxious to watch you. Watch more trickery.
So
keep your eye on the spinning ball. Guys,
the
what is one of the first things you ever learned? I always said,
How can you not see the green screen
is
edge?
quicker than the eye. Well, in this case, it's true. Because all they ever want to do on the space station is have you watch whatever they are spinning in their hands. It's always the same. This show never changes its format.
Asparagus.
They've always got some little thing spinning, and they want you to watch. But I want you to watch something else. So don't watch what he's doing with his hands. I want you to watch the right
Cut it around
corner.
the outside.
There is a pair of scissors. They're very motionless right now, but they're there. They're right next to the edge of a blue, something blue that's sticking down. And you can just saw the scissors move just a little bit. Keep your eye on those scissors. Don't take your eyes off of them. While Chris is cutting open the pack of asparagus and disgustingly licking off those scissors, keep your eye focused on those scissors and watch the real magic in space happen.
You don't want to load your spoon up too much or the food will fly everywhere. So imagine trying to mix other food in with this when the package is already this full. It really just, it's not possible.
Edit.
And you can't really hold 2 of these or 3 of these at once.
2
So you kind of
edits.
just need to eat one and then eat another.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Eight.
Pac-Man. Uh-oh. Asparagus explosion.
9. Keep watching those scissors. 10, 11,
One last piece of asparagus.
12.
I do. Just because we can.
There you go, guys.
That's fascinating.
That's the real
Complications with
magic
eating in
of space.
microgravity
It's
were
called
not what I expected, but
editing.
I think now we have a really good
And they have
picture.
to edit
So what's that mean
because
for a
they
trip
can
to Mars?
only do
You'll be underway for
cycles
like
of
6
28
months.
seconds.
These take
in
up a lot of
the
room.
crab legs.
Packaging.
They
I'm
cannot
not
go
sure
longer than that.
That all your food can be
So it
prepared this
probably
way.
takes
I
them
think you're gonna
all
have to
day long, maybe a week,
figure out a different system.
to
Have good
make
refrigeration.
one
have
little
bulk foods.
video. Certainly, probably
Maybe
longer
preparing
than it
foods
took
in
me
some
to
sort
make
of
this
centrifuge
video.
to get a little bit of gravity.
But it's always the same game.
Or I think you're gonna have to grow food on
They
root.
get you interested,
You need
they
a
get you
regular
watching their
cycle.
hands,
You can't just package everything.
and they're
It takes
always
6 months to get to
spinning
Mars.
and
That's a lot
twirling
of experience.
something. And then the edits
See
start.
you next week.
Every time, guys.
Bye, Chris.
Next victim. Okay, what's she gonna do? She's going to spin and throw at you a piece of cloth that she's made. And it's pretty disgusting. But listen to what she says.
I'll be bringing this block back with me when I return to Earth, and I'm inviting all of you to create your own star-themed quilt blocks. We'll be combining them with my blocks to create a quilt for next year.
I'm sorry, couldn't help myself. Okay, watch the pixelation. Now watch her right leg. You see her pant leg? Watch it again in slow motion. You see the pixelation of her stupid little quilt square. But now you're going to see her pant leg on her left leg facing the screen. Look what it's doing. It's flopping over. What happened to her G-force, her magical force that causes everything to stand straight up? Forgot about that. Okay, next. Here's a bunch of flashy video. See that flash? Flash. That's an edit. Flash. Each time you see a flash, it's an edit. And watch the ridiculousness of her putting water on her hair. Yet no water seems to be going to her hair. It looks to me that the water that she barely squirted out all just drifted away from her. Watch her try to capture it back and wet her hair, but it doesn't happen. And then we're going to see edit. Oh, magic. Look, wet hair. Wow, how did that happen? Amazing. Flash. She's now turned the screen sideways. Shampooing. Got to put that shampoo on that filthy, dirty head. Flash. Now she's facing forward. How is this? Flash. Different angle again. Each edit represents the end of a parabolic flight and the beginning of a new one. You see, they can't reposition the actor in the same spot that they were standing in when it all stopped. They just can't start and stop this perfectly every time. So that's why they always have some gimmick to have you watching. This time they really didn't, because she's not using her hands that much. But you see the flashes. Those are edits. And once you start seeing them, they become so crystal clear that you can't stop seeing them. All you see is flash, flash, flash. It just gets ridiculous, but not as ridiculous as the lies that they're spinning to us, making us believe that there's magical ISS in the sky to hide the real information from you. And we all know that they're hiding this because there is no space. We live on a flat plane. And this lady is all in on the gag, trying to reinforce the indoctrination that started when we were children, telling us that we lived on a spinning ball. She's probably upside down. And that's the reason why her hair is standing straight up like that. That's my take on it. But there could be some kind of a uptake valve, something that's causing her hair to be sucked up. I don't know, but you can see those flashes. And every time you see a flash, her body position has changed afterwards, or her hair position has changed. They can never line it up perfectly. They should never have tried to do this video because it was too difficult, because her hair is just all over the place. But they tried. I give them a big fat F for failure on this video. But good for us flat earthers, because this is the kind of material that I just gobble up. Because now that eyes have been opened, I can't stop seeing this. And I see all the edits now. You see her whole body shift out of position. The instant replay here, I've slowed things down for you, so you can see for yourself the flash and then the change of body position. Wait for it, it's coming. There we go, did you see? It's like they put a transition in between the cut of the edit. There's another flash, body position changes. It's the same like when we make these videos. We edit, we put transitions in between the slides. There's no special magic required. It's pretty simple. And it's like they use the transition of overexposed film transition. Maybe that's what it was called. You see that? Reminds you of when you've got an overexposed photograph. That's the transition that they used, because it's always the same one each time. And then when that passes by, boom, her body position has changed. Wow, the magic of the ISS. Now it's the bullshit station. And we're all on to you, NASA. Your days are numbered. Because one day everyone will know about what you've been doing with our $50 million a day. And I want mine back. I want the money back that I paid for this pathetic show that you've been putting on. That and your fake moon landing and your ridiculous fake Curiosity landing on Mars with your rodent in the picture. It seems like NASA can never get it right. They always have to make a mistake. It's like they're just dangling it right in our face. Look at my ridiculous Medusa hair. Ha ha, look at me, how silly and stupid I look. But people are all sleeping. They're all believing this. And it just goes on and on. Look at that hair. Oh, come on. It's just, they're all space monkeys. And that's all I have to say on it. Now, this is very disturbing. Just watch this video. You're finally going to see the fourth wall. And just watch, and I'll talk about it afterwards.
Yes, I'm ready for the event.
Parkhill Elementary School, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check. Please call station for a voice check.
Well, there you have it. I don't even know what to say. That was so disturbing. I'm not sure what I was looking at, but I think we see the puppeteers because those actors are the puppets. And as mad as I am at them, they're really not the ones that are pulling the strings. We have just seen our first images of the people actually pulling the strings. And they're wearing masks. And they're very evil, devilish looking masks. And I would guess that they're doing that so the actors don't even know who they are. You know, a simple balaclava would have sufficed. But no, they had to keep this masquerade going by wearing the most devilish looking masks that they could find. I hate ending my video on such a depressing note, but yet we finally have our first real pictures of the fourth wall. And as demonic as it is, we need to face it for what that is. So I just hope that this video gets seen a lot so people can see that. And like I said, the creator of the video, I will put a link so you can go directly to his site, because I'm not taking any credit for that. I was sent that video today and watched it, and it's just very heavy on my heart now, seeing the demonic force behind all of this. It's so much bigger than us. I don't know what we're ever going to be able to do to stop this madness, but I hope that someone does something really, really soon. Have a great rest of the day.
Well, we can talk a little bit afterwards, but next one, Ceres.
No audio?
Where's the audio?
There is no audio.
Is that my one?
No, it's FPV's one.
Hello guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. Yeah, this is going to show you.
Oh, hi.
This is going to show you the fourth wall. Look in the reflections. You'll see people walking behind the cameraman. It's not floating, they're walking.
Yeah. In the left bottom of the light. It's just the cameraman itself.
See the guy on the left walking?
And this is so-called in space?
Yeah, it's off one of the ISS videos.
Aha, without a suit. Okay.
Yeah, you can see the guy standing on the left, the dark shadow.
Yeah,
He's like walking up behind the cameraman. Not floating, but walking.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
It takes the people a while to click on that he's just walking. Yeah, you can see his head bobbing up and down there. He's not floating, he's walking.
It looks like someone's looking into the glass as well.
It's not even in the water. Yeah.
It's on board the ISS somewhere. I'm not sure which part.
But somebody's actually walking. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like there's a whole camera crew there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. There's no echo, Series. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm running nothing.
Some images there for humor. The second clip will also show you a bit of the fourth wall as well.
The Canadian arm, which put it on itself. It's been all interesting, but this is a very big, handy little thing to have here, this airlock in the gym. And we do have a couple windows though over here. We don't keep open much, but you can see the exposed facility if you open these windows up. Of course, it's nighttime right now, but right out there is the exposed facility. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to see too much. I don't think so. You can try it on.
It was also a video with this guy who actually gave it tour.
Same again with this one. Look, you look at the fourth wall. Look at the reflection. You'll see the camera guy walking.
Oh, yeah. And he is so-called floating.
Yeah, people don't seem to notice that as much, but yeah, how are they walking in space? You see him there taking steps.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you show the fourth wall. Look for the reflections.
But right out there is the exposed facility. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to see. But right out there is the exposed facility.
That's the kind of things I look for. Reflections, spiders climbing up walls, flies defying zero gravity.
I posted one in the Facebook group because it was on a Facebook kind of video, and there was a bee. We've done that one series.
Yeah.
The bling bling one. We've done that one, so you can get rid of that one. Yeah, you just play that one. I think we've got them, guys, on more evidence. Look, he's not moving, but the other astronaut is moving. He's not moving at all. He's not moving. That's because he's not there. Or they filmed it at different times and they CGI'd it. But look at all the ropes, all the whatever that is, the oxygen, whatever the pipes. Look at them. Look at the cables. Look. They're not moving. The other one's moving. He's not moving. He's on pause. He's been paused. It's all alive. All of it. Not just a bit of it. It's all alive. NASA are faking it. Look for yourself. He's not moving. Please, everybody, wake up. There is no vacuum space. No astronauts go into space. It's all alive. He's moving around okay there.
What if I do that? I'll have it right now. I do like 3.5, 4 feet. All right, let's see if it's gonna come back. Give me a minute. I'll work on that. Safety pattern, mate. Clear up.
So why isn't he moving now? Nothing. He's moving around okay there.
What if I do that? I'll have it right now. I do like 3.5, 4 feet. All right, let's see if it's gonna come back. Give me a minute. I'll work on that. Safety pattern, mate. Clear up.
So why isn't he moving now? Nothing of him is moving while he is moving. He's moving around okay there.
What if I do that? I'll have it right now. I do like 3.5, 4 feet. All right, let's see if it's gonna come back. Give me a minute. I'll work on that. Mate, clear up.
So why isn't he moving now? Nothing of him is moving while he is moving. He is not moving while he is moving. Nothing is moving. Look, he's moving. Look, all these bits are moving.
Mate, clear above those antennas.
Look, all of this astronaut is moving. All the bits on him are moving. Nothing.
I think it'll be a lot cleaner.
Nothing. Nothing is moving. Look, all those bits are moving. Movement. Movement.
If I do that, I'll have it right now. Now you're like 3.5, 4 feet. All right, let's see if it's gonna come back. Give me a minute. I'll work on that. Safety 10 mate, clear above those antennas.
That stopped in midair. Moving. Nothing is moving. Nothing. They're such liars. There is no way they would allow astronauts to go into a vacuum space. Or a vacuum, it's still the same thing, we just put space on the end of it. Because they know it would kill them. Even if they survived the no oxygen, the crushing, the boiling of the water inside you, and what it does to the air inside you, makes you expand, makes you blow up, and it actually hits oxygen, they would turn into basically a prune. They would go, their skin, they would deflate. Now, as far as I can see, they're all in a swimming pool, and air rushing out the scuba divers. In one of the experiments I'm using a little bit later in this video, it shows you that after a while of being in a vacuum, water then turns to gas and then freezes. That is what would happen to them. If they got past their mind being bent and squeezed and or expanding, and the water bubbling away in their body, if they get past all that, they then have to cope with the fact that half their body is going to turn to ice. And then the moment they decompressurize back into oxygen, they're going to shrivel into a prune. This is not a joke, everybody. We have been seriously, seriously lied to if you believe that any astronaut has been into space. So messing around with your reality and trying to tell you that reality is something completely different. It's disgusting. Hello everybody, I thought I'd make this video because I just can't get over how we never put in space. This is a bike. You can see the speed it's going. The astronauts are supposed to be doing 17,000 miles an hour, not 886, 17,000. That's 17,000,000.00. Astronauts, 17,000 miles an hour. Does this look like anybody is flying 17,000 miles an hour? All I can see is people in the darkened out swimming pool. How would he be able to stand like that, knowing if he fell off, he could go straight down to earth? Oh yeah, but look, he's standing over there, very casually, That's because he's in a swimming pool. Look at how the ribbons are moving. Look, that's like in a swimming pool. Like in a swimming pool. Like in a swimming pool. You see them moving together? That is supposed to be talking. It doesn't even look real. 17,000 miles an hour. No resistance, no nothing. Look at this. That is not real. Do you believe this? They are just floating around a swimming pool. That is water. This is in a swimming pool. Who is in a swimming pool? He's supposed to be going 17,000 miles an hour. Don't forget, the scuba divers are all aired out. I mean, what is this? See his leg hit that? Like he's in a swimming pool. That's in water. And you see that? He's still moving. But he isn't. He's still moving. He isn't. They're in the same shot. Water. In water. They are moving around like they are in water. This is someone moving around in water. Just look at that. This is what would happen to human beings in a spaceship if they went into the vacuum of space. Anything with liquid of any kind or air will do that. So imagine what happened to the space station full of air and the humans full of air and water. Why would you allow any person to go into something that will do that? The vacuum space is extremely unstable. It's only like that because you turn the air back on.
What do you think would happen to the water? Would freeze, or boil, or something else? To think about this question, we need to understand that space is a vacuum. That means it's empty. There isn't any water, or land, or even air. It's empty, except for our imaginary glass of water. We can simulate the emptiness of space in an experiment by putting some real water inside this vacuum chamber. All the air is being pumped out, creating a vacuum similar to outer space. As the air is pumped out of the chamber, the pressure decreases and the water begins to boil, even though it's not hot. So that's what would happen to water in outer space. What do you think about it? Wait, come back. The water isn't liquid anymore. It appears to be freezing. When the water boils, it changes from liquid to a gas.
Why does he want to put people into this? It's unstable. The water's freezing.
Now, that is something interesting to think about.
Water and oxygen are in our bodies. Space suits cannot cope with it. This is plastic. They've got plastic in their suits. They wouldn't be able to cope with coming back into oxygen once they've been into the vacuum of space. When they came in to atmosphere, that's what would happen to them. Thanks for watching. Next one series, and if we get past that and everybody's happy, Patricia sent me one as well. I thought I would just add to my other couple of videos I've made about fake NASA, because people who understand what's going on, who have researched or woken up, see something different. Those that sleep and don't realise what we're in or what has been lied about attack me, call me an idiot, call me all these things, and they don't have any idea the realm, the flat earth realm we're living in. Anyway, if you understood all that, you then understand why space is fake. But This video, fake NASA, fake base, fake vacuum space. There's absolutely no way any of it is the truth. For some reason, we've all listened to it. It's taking away much more of the truth. Again, I would just like to stress, as I've stressed my last couple of videos, all this is done for a reason. It's to make you believe reality is something different. And what that does is it takes your freedom away.
You're listening to the Hour of the Time. I'm William Cooper. In 1/6 gravity, everything would weigh 1/6 or 16.7% of its earth weight. In other words, a 180-pound man would weigh a mere 30 pounds. Think about this, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm going to strip away some of the bullshit that NASA has been shoving down your throats for years. Writers were speculating on the athletic abilities of men on the moon a long time before the space program and Apollo. They based their calculations on 1/6 gravity, because that's what the scientists told us the gravity on the moon would be.
It feels really strange making this because water is not a vacuum. Now, a little bit later on in this video, you're going to see them supposedly in space. And all that they represent is what's happening in water. Because in a moment, I'm going to show you astronauts in their suits in a vacuum. There is no bouncing.
For the astronauts, now the moment of truth. A crane lifts them into the pool, carrying 300 pounds of spacesuit apiece. Underwater, the safety divers meet them and carefully remove them from the platform. Each astronaut is carefully weighted to be precisely neutrally buoyant. Hey, they don't call it the neutral buoyancy lab for nothing. Once weighted properly, the astronauts hover in the water as if floating in the weightlessness of space. Since fins don't work in space,
my next bit of video is going to show you some astronauts in a vacuum. They don't act anything like in water. They don't bounce up and down and start floating around. In a vacuum, to float in.
The astronauts don't get to wear them here. They must be moved from task to task by the divers. Each astronaut has 4 divers assigned to him or her. 2 are safety divers. Another has a camera with a cable going to the control room. And there are more cameras mounted all over the inside of the pool, too. In the test director room overlooking the pool, 21 monitors keep the staff informed of everything that happens below. They oversee the safety of the operation. If anything were to go wrong, the divers can get the astronaut to the surface in only seconds. In the test conductor room, another team is conducting a training run. The test conductor and team speak directly to the astronauts through the communications gear in their helmets, but powerful underwater speakers allow the divers to hear everything that's being said.
Let me D1 over to D1 then. Check out the bar tracking.
The point of all this effort is to provide a learning environment for astronauts where they can practice tasks over and over in simulated zero gravity before they're required to do it by themselves in space. Tasks that are easy on land become much harder in zero gravity. And harder still while wearing a spacesuit that has to be able to protect an astronaut from the vacuum of space. A spacesuit is designed to have more pressure on the inside than on the outside, since it's effectively inflated like a balloon in space. In the NBL, that pressure is backwards. Water is definitely not a vacuum. In order to keep the water pressure from squishing the astronauts as they go deeper, the suits are inflated to a pressure just a few psi higher than the surrounding water. When an astronaut goes deeper into the pool, the water pressure pushes in on the suit and tries to compress it, so the suit is given more internal pressure to keep it inflated correctly. As the astronaut ascends towards the surface, the air inside the suit expands and tries to overinflate the suit, so some of the air is released. In this way, the suit always stays inflated just as it would be in space. As the astronaut ascends,
just telling you, bunch of lies, all of it, because you're going to see an astronaut in a vacuum. None of this has to happen. There's no bouncing. There's no weightlessness. There's no weightlessness. Look. There's no weightlessness. There's no bouncing. He's in the same condition as they told us he'd be on the moon. Why isn't he floating? Why aren't things swimming around, moving? Just like the footage they show you from the ISS. He's not bouncing, is he? Here's some more astronauts put into a vacuum. Somebody's lying, aren't they? Just lie upon lie upon lie upon lie. Yet again, they're in a vacuum, so the vacuum of space. They're not moving, bouncing, floating. It's all a lie. This is a swimming pool. Please wake up.
The public was anticipating some of these spectacular athletic feats when astronauts explored the moon. Remember seeing any? None were ever performed, ladies and gentlemen. There just weren't any. And you say, well, they were weighted down with these big, giant, heavy suits. I got a bridge. Want to buy it? You may remember the televised pictures of astronauts moving around on the moon's surface. If so, we challenge you to recall any extraordinary feats at all. Because in all actuality, ladies and gentlemen, there were absolutely none. Zero. Zilch. Zip. Nothing. In the November 1967 issue of Science Digest, an article appeared by James R. Barrie entitled, How to Walk on the Moon. In it, Mr. Barrie predicted that men would be able to make 14-foot slow-motion leaps, perform backflips, and other gymnastics just like professionals, and be able to easily move up ladders and poles with their arms, not even having to use their feet. Another prediction was given in 1969 by the writers of U.S. News and World Report in an article entitled, U.S. on the Moon, Look It Up. And they said, with gravity on the moon only 1/6 as strong as it is on Earth, a home run hitter in a lunar baseball game could drive a ball well over half a mile. A golfer's drive from the tee would sail clear over the horizon out of sight. You wouldn't be able to see where it landed, even if you wanted to. See, the height an object will rise in a gravitational field, ladies and gentlemen, depends upon its initial velocity. And if an object had the same initial velocity and 1/6 gravity as it had on Earth, it would rise 6 times as high.
NASA's figures say that when you go into space, a person that weighs, say, 160 pounds will only weigh a sixth or a much less of their weight, okay? So it would mean that, yeah, just watch this bit, this is what I was watching. He's bounced. He bounced well up. They're just lying.
And again, thanks a lot. Okay, Neil, we can see you coming down the ladder now. At the foot of the ladder, the limb footbeds are only, you got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're breathing again. Thanks a lot. Okay, Neil, we can see you coming down the ladder now. Contact light. Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
With gravity on the moon only 1/6 as strong as it is on Earth, a home run hitter in a lunar baseball game could drive a ball well over half a mile. A golfer's drive from the tee would sail clear over the horizon out of sight. You wouldn't be able to see where it landed, even if you wanted to. See, the height an object will rise in a gravitational field, ladies and gentlemen, depends upon its initial velocity. And if an object had the same initial velocity in 1/6 gravity as it had on Earth, it would rise 6 times as high. If the initial velocity of the object were doubled over its Earth velocity, it would rise 24 times as high. And if tripled, it would rise 54 times the Earth height. Imagine the golf tournaments in such an atmosphere. A man jumps vertically by bending his knees and then flexing his thigh muscles to full extension. Try it yourself, right where you are. Get the feel of this so you'll know exactly what we're talking about. You see, when he does this, it propels him off the ground with a given initial velocity that can be measured. And if an astronaut were to jump vertically in 1/6 gravity with the very same effort expended on Earth, the initial velocity would be greater than on Earth. Therefore, the astronaut would go more than 6 times higher. And we haven't even gotten to these suits yet, so don't get ahead of me. We're going to cover that, folks, using NASA's own figures. You see, for the purposes of this broadcast, a conservative approach is taken, and I always do that with anything that we talk about, simply because I know that the wolves are out there ready to jump. We take a conservative approach in determining the relative jumping ability of astronauts in 1/6 gravity versus Earth gravity. A complicating factor, folks, is the alleged weight of the spacesuits and backpacks worn by the astronauts. And here's where the fun begins. You see, NASA claimed it's their own figures. I didn't make this up, and you can check yourself. NASA claimed that the gear weighed 185 pounds. Let me repeat that so that there's no misinterpretation. 185 pounds. Now, this is a terribly oppressive weight to carry on the Earth. But, folks, it would be no problem whatsoever in 1/6 gravity. That is, assuming that astronauts weighed 185 pounds and their gear weighed the same. And these are the NASA figures, and the astronauts, all of them, weighed pretty close to that figure. The total combined weight, ladies and gentlemen, in 1/6 gravity would be only 62 pounds. Now just ruminate a little bit. If the astronaut weighed 185 pounds, and his entire suit, all of his gear, weighed another 185 pounds, the equivalent combined total weight in 1/6 gravity would be only 62 pounds. I'm here to tell you I could do amazing things if I weighed 62 pounds anywhere at all. But we didn't see any of that, did we? You see, this is still only 1/3 of an astronaut's body Earth weight, without any gear. Are you beginning to understand? Therefore, the astronauts should have been able to jump vertically far higher than they could on Earth without any burden. And you remember when they were tooling around in that little car and they were spinning their wheels and the dirt was flying up, making a rooster tail? Well, folks, that dirt didn't fly up very high and it didn't stay up in the air. It came down really quick. And according to statistics, dust in a 1/6 gravity atmosphere. In fact, an atmosphere only 2% as dense as Earth's atmosphere, that dust should still be floating around somewhere, shouldn't it? But it didn't. How are we going to explain this? How does NASA explain it? Very simply, folks, they don't. They can't. They never could, and they never will. Quite a number of professional athletes, ladies and gentlemen, can jump over 3 feet off the ground when they are stretched out, such as in a basketball layup. These athletes are the exception. But an average man in good condition can easily manage 18 inches in a standing vertical jump. Try it in your living room. Try it right now. Way, if you can't reach 18 inches, there's something really seriously wrong. Like you might be permanently injured and trying to jump from a wheelchair. It can be assumed that the astronauts, ladies and gentlemen, were capable of attaining this on Earth with a moderate effort, especially considering the rigorous training and the physical condition which they were expected to maintain. And in fact, if they did not maintain the certain specific physical conditioning, they would not have been allowed to make their flight. Are you following? Clear, crystal crisp logic that only power of the tongue. Finally, folks, since John Young's vertical jumping during the Apollo 16 mission has been observed on film many times by all of you and by me, the question of spacesuit mobility and height attained can be discussed because we've all seen it. You can go down and rent videos from your local video rental store right now and watch it again. You can order videos from NASA. You can do all of these things. You see, a standing vertical jump of at least 18 inches on Earth can be accomplished by exerting an upward force of around 500 pounds by a 185-pound person. An equation can be derived which gives the relative heights attained by an astronaut in 1/6 gravity carrying a burden equal to his weight, and the same astronaut on Earth without a burden.
testing started just normally, like they all do. And Jim was out of vacuum in the spacesuit.
With all the air sucked out, all that protected him was his pressurized suit. Then something happened.
I heard over the headset that he was losing suit pressure.
The tube pressurizing his suit had become disconnected. He was in serious danger.
There really wasn't any feeling. It was just happening so fast, trying to get the chamber back to a safe pressure and Jim to a safe pressure inside the suit.
As I stumbled backwards, I could feel the saliva on my tongue starting to bubble just before I went unconscious. And that's kind of the last thing I remember.
Essentially, he had no pressure on the outside of his body, and that's a very unusual case to get, and there's very little in the medical literature as to what happens when you have that. There's a lot of conjecture, that your fluids will boil.
Within 25 seconds, a co-worker sitting in a partially pressurized antechamber and wearing an oxygen mask was able to dash in. At the normal rate of repressurization, it would have taken 30 minutes to make the chamber safe. Hess repressurized it in just over a minute.
It's much, much faster than you would ever come down in an airplane. It would really hurt your ears if you did that.
Finally, it was safe to let a doctor in. Miraculously, LeBlanc had already regained consciousness.
When I stood up in the chamber, I felt fine. My ears ached a little bit from, of course, rapid repressurization. And that's basically the only effect I had.
It was one of the few instances where anybody was ever exposed to that low of pressure and lived to tell about it with no obvious damage.
Such an accident in space would have been fatal. But thanks to testing like this, no astronaut has ever had to face a similar situation.
Imagine that this uninjured, with a little bit of air left inside of it, is an astronaut in his spacesuit. Now, simulate space for this astronaut. Now, you'll notice that the astronaut starts to inflate, right? And that's because he is in a vacuum, much like this balloon that you're watching is in a vacuum. Now, I've seen lots of videos where they have a balloon in a vacuum, and many of them actually pop. And I was surprised to see that NASA has something called the beam. It's I think it stands for Bigelow Expandable. What was it? Bigelow Expandable Activity Module. Basically, this thing right here was added supposedly to the International Space Station, and what it is a balloon. They've just stuck a balloon to the side of the International Space Station. Now, I'm thinking with the quote-unquote infinite vacuum of space. Now, people talk about the vacuum of space, and those who are pro spinning ball Earth, they tend to downplay the vacuum of space. I mean, when you bring it up, like they tend to say, oh, well, there's really not that much difference between the vacuum of space and blah, 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 and it's really not that bad. And this, no. I'm talking about the nearly infinite and inconceivably large vacuum that exists in space. And so you're going to put a balloon, right, this thing right here, on the side of the ISS and tell me that it's not going to explode, and that all the astronauts that come out of this little hatch over here are not going to explode. Well, I mean, if they pressurize their little air module, what is it called, the air hatch or whatever, if they pressurize it, meaning make it equal or close to the infinite vacuum of space, I would expect the astronaut to blow up so large he couldn't even get out of the ISS. So these are pictures that they show us of, you know, what astronauts in space look like. Now, I'm not saying this is an astronaut in space, because it does not look like an astronaut in space at all. These pictures look so fake to me. I mean, there's a million videos on YouTube talking about and exposing NASA to the fullest, most convincingly. I mean, it's beyond the shadow of a doubt. But this is clearly done in some sort of studio. But this is what they want you to think it looks like. You know, look at the spacesuit. It's not even totally inflated as I would expect it to be, like the balloon was. And here's some pictures of them not even in space. Look how marshmallowy the suit looks, you know? It sort of takes on an inflated look, even though clearly they're not in space. It's just designed to sort of look inflated. Anyways, yeah, I'm not convinced. I'm just not convinced. The infinite vacuum of space, some people have told me, well, it's not infinite, you know? It doesn't matter. It's, in comparison, it is infinitely larger than our tiny little make-believe spinning ball, all right, that's flying through this vacuum. In my opinion, the vacuum should be amazingly strong. It's so much larger than the tiny ball that has this imaginary thing called gravity that's keeping the atmosphere from just being sucked out into this immense vacuum of space. I'm not buying it. This guy should be inflated and then popped out there in the infinite vacuum of space. Anyways, that's my video, everybody. Let me know what your thoughts are and what you think. And thanks for watching.
This is the greatest force ever applied to move a vehicle. This is the cluster of rocket engines boosting the Saturn vehicle free of gravity, straight up. Saturn is the largest rocket ever produced by the United States. Saturn was designed solely as a space vehicle. It can carry multi-ton payloads into Earth orbit or to the moon. And the scientific space exploration by Saturn rockets lead eventually to placing a man on the moon and returning him safely to Earth. But all the missions planned for Saturn hinge on one essential element of space rocketry. If we fill a sphere with highly pressurized gases, there can be no action and reaction. The pressures are equal in all directions, and the gas remains motionless. But if a hole is cut in the sphere, the pressurized gas rushes to escape. Thus we have an imbalance of pressure in the sphere in these two directions. Similarly, if we fill a balloon with compressed air, there is a greater pressure within the balloon than outside. When we release the air within the balloon, the column of air escaping sets up a momentum going in one direction, and the reaction in the other direction, acting as pressure on the interior of the balloon, propels our little rocket. If we look at a representation of a rocket engine's thrust chamber, we see the same principle applied. Through combustion in the thrust chamber, great amounts of energy are released. Hot, expanding gas escapes through the nozzle throat. Because of the design of the nozzle, the mass of escaping gas molecules is accelerated rapidly. This kinetic energy, bursting from the nozzle exit at supersonic speed, generates an enormous force. Mass and acceleration of the gas flow is computed a basic measurement of rocket power, thrust. The reaction to this thrust is expressed in pressure against the top of the chamber here, against the sides here, and against the interior walls of the nozzle here, forcing the thrust chamber, and with it, the entire body of the rocket upward. Oh, and one other thing. Many people in the past thought that the rocket required a solid body of atmosphere to push against in order to move. Incorrect.
Okay, so here we're going to do a little bit of science to prove once and for all if, in fact, rockets move, they're pushing off atmosphere behind them, or pushing off anything behind them, or if they move through Newton's third law, which states everything has an equal and opposite reaction, or every action has an equal and opposite reaction. And by just the process of expelling something at the back, you gain forward momentum. So, we'll add our weights to the cart, and we'll redo our experiments to make sure it can move under its own weight. One. When it was observed, it would also be cool of us to observe the fact that with added weights, it did move significantly slower than it without weights, which we can test again by removing the pins. Let's verify that it is 29 grams lighter. 107. So that corroborates with our 104 gram part and 103 gram balloon, making 107. So without weight, with weight. Significantly slower. In fact, it couldn't even propel itself off of our testing surface. So that was 2 tests with the weight. So let us test again for 3. Four. And finally 5. So, we know for a fact that it can move itself forward by using just the force of this balloon. So, what happens when we introduce our vacuum to the back of it? So, test number one. Movement was still observed. So, test number two. Movement was still observed. I did notice it was a little bit slower than without the vacuum. Test number three. Movement was still observed. Seemed to be about the same distance as without the vacuum. 4. No movement observed. 5. Movement observed. And since we had one test that did not move, let's do a few more just to make sure that we are getting accurate data and to see if it happens any more times. So let's do an extra 3. Just 6.
Let me know what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, darling, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words,
Look at this footage.
Prior to going out, I thought, what do you say to 194 million people when you're looking down at them from...
Look how the globe looks. Look at the shape of the globe.
Flashed through my head as I got out. I thought about it before.
Why is this happening in zero gravity?
And I honestly
look at the shape. Look what happens.
And the solution became very obvious to me as I stepped out. I said, they don't want me to talk to them from up here. They want to hear what we're doing up here while we're actually going through the mission. And I was waiting for the go. It came a little earlier than I had expected. I was expecting it to get it over alignment. I thought maybe I'd lost track of time up there, that it was going.
see that? Don't even know what you're looking at. Do you see that? Do you think it's amazing that that arm thing that he's attaching moves so easily when he's touching it, but the vacuum space doesn't do anything, traveling 17,000 miles an hour? I just wish everybody would really wake up and realize that those men are in water. Do you really think that they would have it like this? A loose wire on the outside of the space station like that?
Steve going there getting the view of a lifetime down at the earth below the entire.
Yeah, he's not frightened at all. You know, he's trying to balance in the water in case he falls over. That's all this on the outside of the space station. Look, it's in water. This is a joke. Oh, that was a near pause then. I got it. Would this be more aerodynamic? Water, in water. If you understood what a vacuum was, and what would happen if you're in a vacuum, really don't think that things would be moving like this. If they can move their arms and move around like this, why can't they move their legs? I know why they can't move their legs, because they're in water. But if they can move all this, why are their legs so straight?
Yeah, you're gonna want it in that. I'm sure you know that 90 degree.
You can see how easy all these bits move on them, so why can't they move their legs?
If this can move around this easily, why can't they move their legs? Look at all this on the outside. Do you see this? Look. Those are the slippers and the scuba divers.
Reinstall the extension on top of that wedge.
Do you see that?
Reinstall the extension on top of that wedge.
Those are the flippers from the scuba divers. What's this? Look at how he moved that. He's having such a problem there, that guy. What don't you see? See it for what it is. Fake. In a swimming pool. Listen.
For their second spacewalk, the primary task was replacing the gyroscope that was
Gyroscope.
on the International Space Station. There's a lot of choreography involved in this. We started out went up to remove the
Gyroscopes
over top of the
prove the Earth's flat. So what's the space station doing with a gyroscope then? They don't need one. They're supposed to be in orbit, remember? Traveling 17 times around the world every day. Gyroscope.
To the space station itself, and you can see it's moving over the scale gyroscope, getting ready to stick on mutt-ball stack mutt. Once we got that in place, we had a chance to translate back down to the airlock. I climbed into the arm and Scorch drove me down to the payload bay, but Rick actually translated down to the payload bay on the lab itself. Pretty spectacular view, as you can imagine, sitting on the end of the arm, looking out at the Earth going by beneath you 25 times the speed of sound. But back to work once you get back in the payload bay, and here I am grabbing onto the CMG. Rick undid the bolt, and we're lifting this 1,200-pound structure away. It was a combination of the gyroscope and the mounting brackets that it was on as well. We had about 2 inches clearance as we were lifting this off the storage platform in the payload bay. Scorch did an absolutely outstanding job in the arm, and of course I mentioned this to him, and he said, well, I'm not driving the arm, it's driving itself. But looking down at the Earth was really incredible. You know, I had a CMG riding on the end of the arm for most of this whole spacewalk. Once we got the CMG out of the bay, Rick came back to join me, and we installed the new CMG with all its support equipment on the external stowage platform number 2, right by the airlock. And then the choreography of the spacewalk was really quite complex. We then had to remove the new gyroscope from all of the support equipment, and then take the new gyroscope back up to Z1 at the work site, swap it out with the old failed gyroscope. And of course, we did that robotically. Scorch again driving me up to the Z1 work site and bringing the gyroscope back in and getting that installed. Spectacular
I cleared the age, worked out really well.
Look at all these wires floating around. How dangerous is that? Look.
I remember a cat swimming and as well as literally breaking.
Look. What is all that?
I think one was trying to figure out how to maybe extend the flight to.
I wouldn't want to be in that thing.
Series. Is that the last one?
We are about to take a journey from the dawn of time to the distant future. We'll explore worlds, galaxies, space and time. Hi, I am Neil deGrasse Tyson, and I'm here to tell you how fucking rad space is. To make this journey, use our imagination, our mind's eye, and this J I just rolled. The distance to the edge of the observable universe is 13.8 billion light years. Doesn't that make you feel small? Like nothing even matters. The closest neighbor to the Milky Way is the expansive Andromeda galaxy. Whoa, that is a pretty weird word. Andromeda. 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 We all were created from stars. Everything is star stuff. This pizza, this cheese, this pepperoni is stars. We're all. Oh, how is that made from stars? I think that's basil. A generation ago, Carl Sagan took us on a cosmic journey unlike any other. Who would have thought someone so chill would want to hang out with me? So rude. Oh, damn it. And now I'm here to take you on the same journey to unlock the secrets of the universe. Woo! What was that? I heard something. Did you hear that? Hey, did you hear that? Was that the cops? Yeah. Are you a cop? You have to tell me if you're a cop. Okay. I didn't think he was a cop. You don't have a cop face.
Wow. And Series, was that one from FPV or was that from Patricia? I sent you.
I think he said this.
That was really funny. Yeah.
Yeah, careful with the music. They'll try and ban that.
Series, I sent you one to your messenger, Facebook Messenger from Patricia, and we'll just make that the last one.
Okay.
Really good one. It's in Facebook Messenger from me. Oh, dearie me. I found that really funny, that one.
Yeah, it was good for a laugh, that one.
I'm really glad that I was muted.
I wonder if they've ever made a clip that you can't actually debunk. Probably not, eh?
No sound.
Look at all those wires. Really? Whoa. I'm really glad I'm not in that thing.
High diff, huh? It's actually,
Gonna see something in his visor.
yeah, it's too much quality. You can actually see reflections. It's not the fisheye lens.
Damn, we can't hear what it's saying.
There's nothing. There's no audio.
They're pointing an arrow to this light over there.
Oh yeah.
What's the radar dish supposed to be doing anyway? Look at it.
That part is where the light of the camera actually shows up.
He's wanting you to look at that light on the left. It's in it. Just look at all those wires.
If it's a Facebook link, I think it does mute the audio. I've seen this clip somewhere else with sound.
Yeah. But it's a YouTube clip.
Yeah, someone's probably re-recorded it and forgot the sound then.
It's 12 minutes long series. Yeah, they meant it.
And then the sound stops.
Looks quite close, doesn't it?
Finally, some high definition. At least HD then. British CGI, yeah.
It's going to be two lights in that camera in the left at the top. Oh, it's like some, oh, I don't know.
It's just a flat surface what you see. Right in the bottom.
You have to be patient, don't you, and look again. I think it's whatever it is in that glass.
There's a suggestion of Ginger Sugarbush in chat to show the moth in space one again.
What, they want to see that one?
Yeah. Press 1 to watch the mothball one.
I think there's somebody walking around there, maybe.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
Face. And then again.
Yeah, someone there at the window.
Or their arm or something.
What it shows. Sleeve and an arm.
Yeah, no suit. No nothing.
A dive suit.
Maybe it's how the light has hit that thing, whatever it is, moving around.
It's probably a diver, and the ISS is just an overlay.
Yeah, a dive suit with what you see, probably an arm or a leg. I don't know.
Or air tanks.
We yet to see a landmass on that globe. Have you seen one yet?
Oh, I've got even more on the channel. There's even more further down.
Where's the chemtrails? You can't even see those.
Yeah. We see them everywhere, but there's nothing to see here. Really nothing.
All is well in space.
Rate 61 beats a minute.
Yeah.
Pressure 97 at over 53. I'd hate to see you relaxed.
But she is relaxed, aren't you, Kat? Suit's running warm.
Like Siberian summer. I'm at the transmitter. Commence an on-site diagnostic. It's overheated. I can tell.
How?
I see scorching. I want to check the coolant cells. Is it possible Calvin could have gotten into coolant?
Possible.
We have to know. There is an issue.
Commander,
Is the bone dry?
Calvin is a carbon-based organism. It needs food, water, and oxygen just like us. We have to consider the possibility it consumed the coolant for food.
Please. Could you list all the water sources aboard? Pure or otherwise?
Oh, there's plenty of drinking water. There's coolant for the comms. Coolant for the CPU. There's coolant for the speaker.
Commander? Calvin just came out and grabbed my suit. It's bigger.
You? Hey, you! What the fuck is going on? Come on! He's going in! Wait! Don't do this! Forget about your fucking quarantine. You!
falling down in a vacuum. Yeah, right.
Go get out of here.
Oh, dat was het.
Woo. We've probably been going for a couple of hours now. Do you want to just talk for a few minutes and then we end the hangout? Because it's been quite a NASA night.
Quite a
Yeah, why not? You've got to ask yourself where the money's going, you know. Look at the money they rake in and they spend $10 on special effects. Where's the rest going?
Oh, to do other things.
All astronauts do is scuba dive.
Sales from the pool side. That's all we're getting.
I mean, when you watch some of those like model things they do, it's just so fake. It's just so obvious. The more fake it is.
Well, every part of it, isn't it? You got pool dives, harnesses, VR augmented contact lenses, green screen, blue screen.
We've got one. I didn't put it on because it's half an hour of listening to them underwater. Isn't it, Ceres?
Yeah, you had some in the.
Well, it is it's there, but if we put it on, chat room would just have to listen to something underwater for half an hour. Be quite not annoying, but it's quite loud, isn't it?
You can tell underwater sounds, can't you?
I could find it and play it as the last one to go out so that people can really hear that it's in water and that they just keep making mistakes.
You have the link for
What'd you say? You two talk for a minute while I go and get it then. Oh, I can do it on my phone. Because if I can find these things, anybody can find these things. And I didn't go through hundreds of videos. I went through a few.
Yeah, they're everywhere, you know. It's nice. It'll be nice to see them all compiled into one clip like this. all the different clips off people. Keep them coming, people, you know. Yeah, look, it's comedy, it exposes them.
Well, Ceres, you could play the moth one again while I find the other link.
All right.
Yeah, see, that's getting mothballed.
Yes, you helped me with that title, didn't you?
It's a good title, that, isn't it? It's time to do mothballed.
Ceres, I've sent it to you Facebook Messenger, okay?
All right.
That was Ceres.
It's like Comedy Central, isn't it? Watching all their clips.
Yeah.
I stopped looking for them because I was finding that many. Other people keep finding.
You look at that film there. What are you looking at? You're looking at something flat and something's flying over the top of it. Well, maybe, or CGI, or it's just fake anyway. Because it doesn't really look real. I mean, if you look, right, I know this is supposed to be going 17,000 miles an hour, but I don't believe it. None of the clouds are moving. None of them. None clouds are moving. Look. This isn't real. Look. This is not real. Yes, anyway, what I was saying was, none of these clouds are moving. Surely you'd see some movement, wouldn't you? There's the ball. Well, it's all fake anyway. Because really it's just going over a flat plane. And, you know, none of it is real. If they could see these clouds like this, yeah, and you can see the peaks on the clouds, they're not that far away. They're not hundreds of miles away. But, you know, if you do this, all that's happening is that something is flying over something. It's not going round. That's just something flying over a flat plane. I mean, come on, people. This is all just CGI. What it says is, oh, it's so sad. Flying over a flat plane. And that's if this is real, because as you can see, you never see any of the clouds moving. I was under the illusion that when you're in a vacuum, you don't hear anything. Please, people, please wake up. Listen to that. They're supposed to be in a vacuum. You wouldn't hear all this. Doesn't that sound like they're in water? It's just ridiculous. That's somebody under in the water. Can you hear that? Can you hear that? In a vacuum, you don't hear anything. Say he banged or something banged into him, he'd feel a vibration. Listen to that noise. What is that noise in the background? Let alone the noise the astronaut, the waterman's making. He's just he's not even a scuba diver, he's an underwater man. Just listen to that, please, everybody. Please, like a couple of people write to me, well, one in particular, and has a go at me on every single post I make. He has a go at me, and all I keep finding is the mistakes. I don't go through many footages, but I'm just going through these. Did you hear all that? Did you hear it? What is all that noise? And you see that thing up there, it keeps moving? That's moving like it's in water. Oh my goodness. All that on the outside. All those wires going 17,000 miles an hour. Does anything look like it's moving? The only thing that's moving is this person here in the water. Look at all these wires and things outside. I wouldn't want to be on that. I'll tell you what, for anybody that loves space after watching all these, I'll tell you what, I wish I had the money because I'd pay for a ride for you in one of those rockets because we'd never see you again. They're fake. You would die. That's what would happen. And you'd end up somewhere in the sea. I think we should put our politicians in the rockets. They should have first place to going up on a rocket. You'd never see them again. Just listen to that noise. How can people watch this and not understand? This was May 2015. And not understand what they're listening to. Like no one understands what being in a vacuum would be like. You wouldn't hear anything. The astronauts will tell you there's absolute, well, because we know they're lying, but they will tell you there's absolutely no noise at all being in a vacuum. So what's all this?
out there. Look at all that. All that would have to happen is a little tiny meteorite would have to smack into that by the end of it before, well, a little meteorite hitting this anyway would be the end. But I mean, any problems, all the wires, look at all these wires, look at this. They're on the outside. This is not high tech. There's no way I'd want to be up there in that. That's a death trap. GoPro astronauts. What's that supposed to be? The sun? Look at all these. You just want that flapping around you on the outside going 17,000 miles an hour. Yeah, okay. We did talk about this on a hangout with the Moore guy the other day. That has never been earthed. It's been up here for 15 years and it's never had its discharge. How could it be up there for 15 years without any discharge with all their electrical stuff? You know, aeroplanes have the same thing, but they land on the earth and the discharge gets dispersed. But this has never been earthed and it's been up there for about 15 years. The problem. I mean, just look at all these things there. Look, there's more here. Who would put all this on the outside? Is that supposed to make us believe that this is high tech and wonderful? Because all it looks to me is that some kiddie made it. It's just what, can't you see what you're looking at? You're not looking at anything high tech or wonderful. And you would not hear that noise. Noise doesn't travel at all in a vacuum. Do you hear the noise? What is he moving around in? What water makes that noise and what is he moving around in? Do you know what? You're supposed to be hundreds of miles up there looking down on Earth. Wouldn't you be just a tiny bit frightened? Yeah, you're attached to the ISS space station, but you know, would you want to fall off? There's no stars whatsoever. That's like, sort of like getting on for a quarter of the Earth there. Yeah, right. Please go and do your research about vacuums. You would not hear a thing. The only thing would happen is any movement would be felt as vibrations in your clothes. You wouldn't hear a noise. Oh, the door, the bendy door. I'm just watching these and recording it, you know, I wasn't planning to, and then I thought, I know I'm going to find mistakes on anything I watch from NASA, so I put my recorder on, so I haven't thought about what I was going to say. I'm sorry, you can, oh, it's just so fake. Just think of your computer games. It's that kind of thing. You know that they can almost make them virtual. What is that noise? Oh look, there's another astronaut in there waiting to come out. that's moving. Decompression. Do you know what would happen if they came in from a vacuum and came back in there? They'd shrink to half their size. They just would. There's no way, even if you could survive in a vacuum, you could ever survive coming out of the vacuum back into atmosphere, oxygen. Oh my God. Look at all this outside. Look at all those. Oh my God. Oh, look and listen. The same noise. If everybody really please go and do your research on vacuums, please. Because they are not in a vacuum. They are not in a vacuum. Why is all that, you know, like, a vacuum doesn't make things float. In a vacuum, there's nothing. There's no air, there's no nothing. So, it wouldn't matter. I just can't see the difference of being here or wherever it is. If you're inside it, it's still going to be the same inside. There's going to be nothing in there. Then how come things are floating around? I put out here with supposedly astronauts in the vacuum chamber. They're walking around, just. Ah, did you see that? Did you see that? Did you see? Look. Oh my goodness. Please, it's so fake. It's been touched up. This is somebody here. Not happening here, is it? The shadow's not moving.
Karen, go ahead and put that on the airlock battery.
Some people say that this is the scuba diver and it's superimposed with the bag, but that is the scuba diver helping the astronaut. He's there to help. Yep, see, he's probably putting his leg down. See that? Just watch what's going to happen in a moment. I will show you. Watch this. What is that there? Watch. Watch. What is that? Did you see that? Look, 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 look. Looks pretty flat, doesn't it?
Check.
that was referenced by Wheelock a moment or two ago is the acronym for the helmet forward connector.
I just would like you to notice that it's not moving.
And the laying of cables for the new
And this, I think I know what that is. It's the camera lens. It's the lens through the window. Oh my goodness. Anyway, the Earth isn't moving. The Earth isn't moving.
350, 353, and 359. 352.
It's not moving. Just look at those wires. I just can't believe how many wires are on the outside. Are these supposed to be stars? Don't look very far away, do they? Oh my goodness, look at all this. I've been watching this astronaut for a while now. I just want to know what he's doing. What he seems to be doing is fighting with the equipment he's with. All he's done is push that equipment out of the way. I can't see what he's doing. He's just fighting with his equipment. That's all he's doing. Do you see that? He's just picking up that thing and putting it down and picking it up, putting it down, picking it up, putting it down, and arguing with it. And wires, look, right, his legs, wires sticking out there. And what are they doing? Not doing anything.
Of course, want to keep the ice bag as far forward as we can.
Oh, he's going to argue with the bag again. Must be so annoying, that bag. Arguing with the bag. Just a constant arguing with the bag. Everything's floating around while they're traveling 17,000 miles an hour. And nothing's moving. There's no tension of nothing, and everything's just floating. And he's still arguing with the bag. I think I'm going to stop my recordings now because I've still got half this video to go through, and I'm sure I could find many more things wrong with it. He's just arguing with the bag. I don't know what the other one's doing. Anyway, thanks for watching. What do you think then? It's all a load of rubbish, isn't it? So we've played quite a few now. Any comments, Ceres?
Any comments? Do we need more comments? Can't we think for ourselves so far that this is just total and complete bullshit from NASA?
Yeah, it did take quite a lot of time to put all those bits together. Anyway, it was amazing. Once you start, you just can't stop. I mean, some of those videos when I was first starting, I think they took me like 24 hours just sitting there and doing things. Well, if I'm going to explain that, I've got to explain this. And then when I get there, I've got to... So it started off with this concept of something I thought would be 30 seconds long, and sometimes it just wasn't. Can't leave bits out either.
Just too many fails. Phil Army going to need more stuff.
Deary me.
You ask me, there isn't any official channel messing up this big.
Yeah, and that's not even all of the videos. it's probably half of them.
Yeah, you could probably, indeed, at least half of them.
Yeah, keep doing them. You know, the voiceovers help as well. Keep revealing it.
I've got one with zero gravity playing in it. It's to do with the other. It's to do with the women ones, and you know how they let, you know, like there's the one which always has a red top on, and then you can see them touching. They're putting their hands up in the air because this is the plane moving, and you know, she's just, and then jajung, there's a sort of judder because they're on a plane or something. There's more. If people just want to look through the channel, you'll find them. But once we started to do the live hangouts, I've done less of those because we do so many live hangouts and talking to other people and other people's projects and research anymore. But anyway, FPV, anything you want to say?
Yeah, I'd just like to say to the people in the chat, because you know, there's a lot of researchers and other people out there looking at the videos. If they want to compile some, and we can play them another time, keep them coming. You know, we'll keep exposing them.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for that, FPV. I'm coming back. Ceres, you're coming back for a flat Earth hug. Hey, you just got to wait for me to come back. Hey, I'm back. Anyway, tomorrow with artists and Angel, with pyramids and ancient structures. FPV for yours. I've not seen yours before. I'm very tired because lately and staying up late. But anyway, see you tomorrow. Thank you, FPV and Ceres. Thank you for everybody in the chat room. And later on today, actually.
Yeah, thank you, Karen and Ceres. Been a good night.
Yeah, I just felt I just wanted to do this night. I wanted everybody to, if they hadn't seen some of that, to see it, and everybody else is brilliant. Anyway.
See you later.
Bye.